guys, welcome to episode 5, which is the Wind Waker. This week we have Pat the cameraman back. What's going on, Pat?
To be continued.
Alright. So, last week we did a poll in the video description down below, and it was between Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. You guys picked Wind Waker. So, I'm very glad you guys did, because I found some really cool stuff that I never imagined that I would find, and you might see the Triforce. It's pretty cool. You should definitely take a look. Roll it! Well, of course, we gotta start off with the area that inspired this episode. Actually, maybe even this entire series. Underwater Hyrule Field has a ton of secrets to hide. And you know what? It's about time we reveal them. Okay, so in this right side quadrant, we have the Dilapidated Archways. You kinda have to wonder why the architect made a clear straight path to Gans Tower first. I mean, I guess Ganon probably thanked him in the only way he knows how, which was probably stampeding over him with a moblin army while he was trying to build those archways. But anyways, if you look over here, you get this awesome view of a gorge and a separate mass of land, which I thought was very interesting. And past that is a blank canvas, so for the sake of time, I didn't take you there. Which, if there's nothing else to show, I figured I'd do a jump cut to the back end of the area. And this area is pretty awesome. So we got ourselves a river that goes out into Lake Hylia, with some beaches to hug the shoreline, and the other end seems to go out into the ocean. And as we hug the back left quadrant, we get a better look at the lake itself with the beach on the shoreline. And as you go further up, you'll see that the gorge is there on the left, and it actually spans all the way across from where you saw it on the right hand quadrant. Now the castle itself is actually condensed very tightly so that there's really no room for exploration, but going around to the backside here really gives you a sense of the scope. As you can see, it's the starting area where you first submerged into underwater Hyrule. And over here are the remains of the Hyrulean gazebo, which was clearly ruined by delinquent teenagers who ruined public facilities for everyone. Now let's take a look at Gans Tower. I'm just gonna say this right now, there's actually a lot more to Gans Tower than there is in this portion of the video. Later on, you're gonna see that there's a lot more terrain built for the tower itself when you get to the end of the game with the last fight with Ganon. But for now, here's the sweep shot of the entire area. You know what? A lot of games tell me I can't come in this room. Buddy, I'm going in this room. So the first thing that we find out is that Tetra has a Helga Pataki-like syndrome and has to have a picture of Link over her bed.
Oh, Arnold, my love. At last, you're mine. Oh.
Yep, a Triforce, pretty standard stuff. Picture of a constellation, not so standard stuff. Beads! I wonder what kind of beads those are. And a picture of an ominous person. Anonymous, if you will. I'd be very curious to find out who she is, without someone making a baseless theory. And I believe this is just a tidal wave engulfing the world of Hyrule, but I can't really explain what's going on in the bottom half of the picture. But that's okay, I'm sure that most of you are actually way more concerned about what this guy's eyes actually look like. So if you zoom it in, you can actually see that this guy has round little beady eyes with little eyelashes. I had to do a little bit of a drawing myself to kind of depict how it should look. I'm not an artist, so I apologize. Now, I'm not gonna let this go. Who gave that pig a black eye? Alright, fine, I'm gonna let it go. So anyway, as you can see, the sculptor is sculpting his future waifu, which is clearly Saria from Ocarina of Time. but in all seriousness, that's a great Easter egg, and this area has a lot of them. So if we move on, never until I explored this back end of the room did I ever really understand that this guy is sculpting meticulously all of these pictures that you're submitting to him.
Oh cool, it's the mask from Majora's Mask. Do you think he ever wore them? Does he get the special powers from it?
Oh yeah, the famous Lord Jabu Jabu scene. Does Lord Jabu Jabu have tonsils? You know what, let's take a look real quick. And the answer is no. But if we turn it around, we can actually see what it would look like to be staring out back at Link and the King of Red Lions if we were coming out of Lord Jabu Jabu's belly like we were in Ocarina of Time. Now here's the real reason why I took this video, is that you actually get to see all of Lord Jabu Jabu's body, which you really don't get to see in the actual game. But definitely what's way more exciting is that while I was looking at this body, I found another King of Red Lions off in the background. So you have to imagine that every time you're in this scene, there is a King of Red Lions just skewed outside of the wall on the left side of you at all times, every time you play this game. It's nuts. I love it. So at the top of this island, there is something very interesting. and I think that we should go to the top of it and take a look. Now, if you recall from playing the game, and if you don't, I don't blame you, the very top of this island is supposed to be the Deku Tree's leaves. Well, if you really want to know what it actually looked like, here's a video capture of the Deku Tree inside the building. Now, if you look very closely, this man clearly has pink eye, which is obviously a very good indication that somebody farted on his pillow. Now, this show validates something that I've always really wanted to know, and that is that, yes, the game actually did render a full Goron head underneath all these hats. And I wouldn't be able to sleep at night without being able to say that this Goron looks like Dumb Donald from the Cosby Kids. So we finally get a look at one of the most barred off rooms in video game history. And if you look over to the right, you can see that actually Tetra was waiting there the entire time. But equally interesting is that Ganondorf actually had a map in his room. And that map seems to be the Tower of the Gods. But what the markings indicate, I couldn't tell you. So the left side of the room has its own personal banner, but if we take a closer look, we can see that there's actually some leftover ship parts from what was once a captain's quarters of an actual ship. And if I was to tell you what was on the right side of the room, it would be even less remarkable than what was on the left, unless you count Tetra and that map. So on the right side of the map, there's just a boat and another anchor. Apparently, Ganondorf didn't have enough time to clean this room up before he made it his own. And the ceiling has these very long drapes, which has made it very hard to navigate this room because it's such a close, compact room.
What's up, homie?
I bet you're all wondering what's going on inside that fiery cabin. Well, you may be surprised to find out that Ganondorf's actually still in there, and he is doing just fine. And in fact, he actually still has the Triforce logo on his hand. Really pay close attention. Check out those Gams. No, but seriously, these are just Ganondorf's boots, and they're very intricate, so I thought I'd show them off. Finally made it to Gans Tower. Now here is this beautiful desert that you were never meant to see. Now this is only supposed to be actually shown during this one little cutscene before the King of Hyrule actually casts his wish and engulfs the entire world in water. And here's a funny little tidbit. There's a little tunnel right there that I did not see in my first run through. But when the world was engulfed in darkness, it was much easier to see that tunnel illuminated. So I decided to cut the two together so that I can make it consistent, and we go through the tunnel together. Now, before all of you get too disappointed, just remember that there's actually a tunnel in the Hyrule Map that is identical to the one that's on this side, so clearly this tunnel is supposed to go into that end. Man, is it so poetic that my favorite part of this episode happens to be at the very end. So, if we zoom out the map, we can see that at the very top, all the parts where the water goes inward and pouring down actually has a Triforce piece resting on each of the 3 points. And I don't feel like I'm reaching here when I say that I think that the developers really did intend for the Triforces to physically indicate that they are fulfilling the King of Hyrule's wishes. Boom shakalaka! God, I love this show! Alright guys, that was episode 5. Thank you so much for watching. Did you like the episode? Let me know. If there's anything that I can improve upon, let me know. Thank you, Pat, for being my cameraman today.
Yeah, I guess.
I really do appreciate it, Pat. And also, I gotta give a big thanks to a YouTuber named Milk, who gave me a shout out the other day and showed his viewers one of my videos. That was really cool, and I really appreciate that. So thank you so much, Milk. And also, Reddit. Someone posted one of my videos to Reddit, and it just blew up. I got 13,000 views off of the last episode, which is crazy. I'm so glad that there's actually people out there that have the same amount of enthusiasm for stuff like this as I do, and I will definitely continue to do it and do my best job for you guys to give you the best show in this format. But yeah, if you want to decide what the next video is going to be, just click the video description down below for to vote.
In the poll.
Yeah, vote in the poll for the next episode. Again, thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a nice night. Take care.